Hi, I'm Pastor Kurt, and this is your 5-minute Bible study. Today, we're going to look at John chapter 8, verses 2 through 11. This is the story of the woman who was caught in the act of adultery. So this is a well-known scene for many people, but even if you already know the story, it's worth taking another look at because there are some important details going on here. First of all, the scene begins when some powers that be take this woman who was caught in the act of adultery and kind of present her before Jesus, saying, "Our law says this woman should be stoned to death. What do you think?" Okay, let's pause there for a moment. How in the world was she caught in the act? If you think about what adultery means, how did these people catch her in the act? Were they peeking through the window? How did they know? How did they find her in the act of committing adultery? Today, sometimes we see things on TV like the Dateline To Catch a Predator, if that show's even on anymore, when they set up this fake kind of person online to lure in this predator, the sexual predator, and then when the person shows up thinking one thing's going to happen, they end up getting arrested. They catch them in the act. Is that what happened here with this woman? I don't know. But somehow these authorities caught her, bring her before Jesus and said, "Okay, Jesus, our law says we should stone her to death. What do you think?" Pause there. They have been placing their judgment on this woman. They've already made up their mind about her. They think, throw stones at her and kill her, right? She's a horrible person. She ought to die. Think about cases when that happens today. When you watch the news, or read the news, or hear about things going on in the world, how often do you judge the people you hear about? Oh, that's such a horrible person. I would never do what that person did. We all do it, right? We bring that person before Jesus and say, "Jesus, this person deserves to die. What do you think? Don't you agree with us?" To which Jesus then bends down on the ground and starts writing in the sand, which sounds kind of odd. We aren't told what he writes. But think about it. Here's this crowd calling for this woman's head. Jesus doesn't respond right away. He gets down and he starts to write in the ground. Now, what would he be writing? We don't know. The Bible doesn't tell us. One theory is that maybe he was going from person to person and writing their sins right in front of them. These things that they wanted to hide, like this woman was probably trying to hide the fact that she was committing adultery, but all these other people were hiding stuff too, just like us. We often try to hide our sins, right? But Jesus knows. Yes, it's really easy for us to think, "Hey, Jesus, this other person here, this person we see on the news, this woman who was caught in the act of adultery, she deserves to die for what she did. This is a horrible person." But in this scene, we realize that's us too. Yes, it's very tempting to say, "Oh, I'm not as bad as that person. I didn't do something as horrible." It doesn't matter. Okay? Jesus still writes in the ground in front of us too. Then he stands up and says, "Okay, you want to stone her? Let the one of you without sin cast the first stone." Right? That line has made its way into our popular culture. At which point, all of them realize that, oh, that could be me there. And so they drop all their stones and they walk away. Jesus then talks to the woman and says, "Woman, where are the people who have condemned you?" And she realizes that they left. And he says, "Neither do I condemn you. Go on your way and do not sin again." Jesus doesn't say that what the woman did was okay, but he does forgive her. He gives her another chance. In the same way, Jesus also gives another chance to all of those horrible people that you see on the news. Sometimes that's hard for us to accept, just like it was hard for the people in that crowd to accept too. But Jesus also gives you a second chance too. You could be that person standing in front of Jesus who somebody else has brought before him saying, this person, you, deserve to die for what you've done. To which Jesus says, no. Jesus brings us forgiveness and mercy and grace and new life. And he gives them to you too. There's your 5-minute Bible study. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.